Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to FML Milan. So, let's talk about it, dude. I'm kind of popping off.
You're fucking doing well this year in Fantasy Premier League.
I know. I have 7 greens in the last 8 game weeks. It's still such a slow climb.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still only 130k up from 8 game weeks ago, even though 7 out of 8 of those are green, which is ridiculous. But my team is clearly good, and I just go up every week, so that's good. Check us out. Yeah, no, I missed the deadline. Doesn't matter. Everything I do is right.
You would have gotten -4 if you made a free transfer.
Yeah, I was probably gonna do Kai to Gundo. I had 2 frees last week. I was probably gonna do Kai to Gundo, float the other. And then I was editing photos and shit. Looked down at my phone, saw the pop up for lineups, and I was like, "Oh, nice." Completely missed the deadline. I just wasn't on my phone and shit. Totally missed it. So I burned a free transfer. It doesn't matter. Kai gets an assist. He's fit, I guess. He just didn't play him versus Manchester United. He plays 90 in the next game. Okay. Son got a dong. Diaz got a dong. Mocap, Avi. Yeah, Jota.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah, everyone pretty much has Mocap, Jota at this point. So
yeah.
And my bad players are really bad and continue to blank.
Hopefully you don't miss the deadline this weekend and
we'll see.
Do something about it.
One day off, so big ask for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I finished on 61. Took another hit. Would be rude not to.
Yeah.
Very, I'm just expressing.
We're definitely yin and yang this season for sure.
I took a hit for Rashica.
Amazing.
I was between him and Martinelli, so I got that wrong.
So you're between him and one of your favorite players in the entire league.
Yeah.
Yeah. So choose the other guy.
Yeah. And he's obviously he was Dean. I got Dino'd big time, but happens. Sometimes you slip in training and you don't tell anyone about it, and then you're injured. So that's what I did. My reasoning was, I had Reece in, and I didn't want to get Basuma off the bench, who should have gotten 5 points if Neil was not a piece of shit, but who's as pretty much as sure thing of a 2-pointer as possible. So I thought Rashica would be a good bench shield for my team, like for this month.
Yeah.
And, he was so good last game, and I've liked him all year. I liked him last year when I watched Bundesliga. And so that was kind of my thinking with that. And
he's genuinely out of position, like forward, basically, like second forward.
Yeah, and he's on some set pieces with Norman when Norman's not in and things like that.
Yeah,
he was a 5-2. I could only afford 5-2. So, if I could afford 5-3, I probably would have gotten Janjo. So,
let's go.
Good.
Let's go.
Another one of my favorite players. But yeah, it's just a mess. Everything's a mess. It's fun.
That's FPL, baby.
Yeah, Lamptey. Love him. Fucking genius.
Oh my God. That must have been your peak moment of the week, right? Lamptey sub on assist.
Yeah, it was good. Especially when, of all of the fucking chances he's created, the one he gets an assist on is an actual bicycle kick. It's like worldy.
Yeah.
When Neil can't, and fucking Motor, who's just, I don't know how he keeps
Neil
starting him, but Neil is something else, man.
He is so funny though. Like his post-match on Match of the Day, he was like, last week they should have cut me and like lowered my wages, and this week I'm the best player in the world or something like that. It's like, you're a fucking legend. Like, how are you so confident? Yeah, like
psycho.
What did your parents put in your fucking water to make you like
he
this?
Must just have an absolute walrus trunk down there.
That would explain it. Yeah, you just got a third leg.
Yeah.
All right, that's FPL, baby. I'm not going to do the league updates. FPL said it's not updated in time as usual for us. I also wanted to just throw in before we move on that I realized that people who are new to us this year, new to listening to the pod this year or last year, don't realize that we're going to pod every time before a game week. Like, we go hard in December when the pile up. So that's just our norm, is like every time before a game week, even if it's one day off, like in this case, we're going to do a pod. So, yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to check us out, as if you may or may not have noticed, this is like our 500th episode and we've never had an ad ever because we despise them and that as a concept. So don't hate when people, throw us a few boners to just keep us trucking along.
Don't hate it. Cup of Joe a month. Don't hate it
at all.
Not bad.
Don't hate it.
Let's go on. Somewhere you want to start?
I mean, I think my main thing this week is just like the games were really, really bad. And like 3 games in a week, I think we forget every year how ill-equipped like 16, most of the league, 15, 16 of the teams are to play even 2 games, but 3 games in a week. It's just a big ask. So, that Wednesday first slate when there were like those 4 games, every game I'm just like, this is a disaster. Like, this is a nightmare. Like, every game was just such a nightmare.
I mean, Tuesday was worse. Newcastle, Norwich, Leeds, Palace were both like unwatchably bad. God. Yeah.
So this weekend I'm expecting more of the same, if not worse.
Yeah. Someone's question in our thing, I forget who it was. I think it was Dad Lad, was like, do you see any cleans this week? And I listed like 9 teams who I expect to clean this week. I was like, like what? Well, all these teams have good fixtures. Yeah, I know this week because it was sloppy and weird, and there were actually penalties, which was also really weird. But the good teams like get even stronger in this period when the weaker teams like can't keep up and have no depth and no rotation and all that stuff.
Yep. Totally.
That said, I mean, Chelsea and City both came pretty close to dropping points.
Yeah.
They were both,
I mean, Chelsea, Conte's a big miss, I mean,
and
he's been having
Kovacic, I was thinking when I was watching highlights. Oh my God.
Yeah, Kovacic just gives them a lot of like control just in the game. But I mean, Conte's been so injured this year. He's like Thiago or something. But
actually, honestly, it's the last like 3 years he's been kind of just in and out.
Yeah, I mean, he like plays a couple games and I mean Watford were just fucking one-way traffic for large portions of the game. I mean, the midfield from Chelsea was just completely, all sorts, and Watford's has been having a lot of difficulty getting footholds in games. They've been kind of just feeding on counter scraps and things like that. But I don't know. Are you concerned about Chelsea?
Yeah, from a fantasy perspective, I definitely am. I mean, I think like goal scoring was always sort of the question mark with this team, and then they splurge like 120 mil or whatever on Lukaku, and it's kind of just like they're good now, Obviously, it hasn't been as seamless a transfer. The team has to learn how to play differently with Rom. But then also, I mean, just, 2-man midfield worked fine when it's Conte and Kovacic, who both are just incredible at everything and workhorse monsters. When it's Saul and RLC, it just doesn't work. That's just like not good enough. They can't 2v3 in midfield, even though it's Watford. And Sissoko was like dominating midfield, like just turning people at will. Cleverly was looking good. Like Watford could have been 2-0 up in the first like 15 minutes.
Who Cleverly funny fell down.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness gracious. That was disaster. Disaster class.
Pure class.
He's like, oh wait, I'm here. Like with the ball, like I could score.
He was like
spasms.
I feel like in highlights, he's always like hopping around. Like he hops to like receive the ball. He hops around. Yeah, he's off balance all the time.
So fucking weird, dude. That guy.
Very weird. Very bad. But yeah, no, I mean Chelsea, they still kind of have the goal scoring problem. I mean, very unsurprising if you've listened to this podcast that, Kai comes in, plays a part in both goals. Alonso, hockey assists both goals. Like those are the things we expect to happen. But overall performance was very bad. And they easily could have dropped points.
I mean, no Jorginho as well.
Yeah.
Who I thought was very bad at the weekend and probably needed the rest. They're lucky that they escaped there with 3 points. You know, I mean, they just really were.
Yeah, and the optimist view is like, this is what title contending teams do. And Chelsea have done this multiple times already this season, like the Brentford game, whatever. They just play terribly and pick up 3 points. So
they're not gonna.
Good for them.
You're not gonna be able to keep getting away with it.
Yeah, I don't think so. So
I don't believe so. Not when the pace of Liverpool and City when they're looking a lot. I feel like Chelsea have some draws and a loss or some results like that.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, winning 1-score games is just not sustainable. Like statistically, never sustainable. That's not like a thing that one team is better at than another team. It just seems that way when it's happening at the time. So yeah, I do expect them to like drop random points or the random 0-0s or something where they just like can't get it going. Whereas Liverpool just score 3 to 4 every game, and City, Villa were good, but City did enough.
Yeah, Villa did play well. I mean, I was surprised that they were able to, make that a game. I thought, going down 1-0 pretty early was just like, okay, just batten down the hatches, try not to get battered, and just finish up. Whatever. But no, I mean, Buendia, I thought played well.
Yeah.
And, Villa are just going to be good all year.
I think so. I honestly think
good.
So too.
I mean, the goal, obviously, right? Set piece. Like, okay, a little fortunate, but they created a couple of good chances. That Chukwueze, whatever that kid was.
Yeah, Chukwuemeka.
He doesn't seem to want to stay there or something. I don't know what's going on with that, but.
They just
City though
limited City. Like you rarely see, even if it's Liverpool, even if it's Chelsea, even if it's fucking PSG, whatever. You almost never see City not get like multiple huge chances in a game, and they really didn't. They had like one big Jesus chance, but it was still like on the turn 180, and they scored a fucking Diaz goal from outside the box and an absolute worldie from Bill. Yeah, and a worldie from Bill. That was insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think
their defense is good.
Though, with Cities, they missed Gundo. I mean, they were playing with, Rodri was given a job that he's not usually asked to do. Fernandinho is playing.
Yeah.
So, two of those things, definitely combined with the fact that Villa were playing, 9 defenders.
Yeah.
Not that surprising. And, two goals, like, okay. But yeah, I mean,
it's just abnormal. Like usually you see that lineup. I'm not like, oh, they're going to blow them away and win by 4, but I'm like, Raz will get one big chance. Mahrez will get one big chance. Like that just happens always, every time.
Yeah.
And it just like didn't. Villa were able to just like snuff stuff out and get in the way and just be.
Definitely.
I think Villa defense is going to be, it's just like, it's annoying that another team is on the FPL radar, but it's probably only going to be defensively. I mean, maybe Ollie, because there's so many good defenders already. There's not like room. Yeah. I'm not like selling, Cancelo for Target at any point in the fucking near future. So
I mean, Emmy might be the best.
Emmy, yeah, it might be Emmy
pick on the team. I mean, really, Martinez, not the attacker, because we don't know really that well about the bonus points, like with this new system, if he's still going to be. I just assume that he will be, but
don't know.
It doesn't. None of the. I mean, Target, I guess, like is a little bit of an attacking guy, but there's so many good attackers in defense on the other teams that are like have the double threat of the clean and the attacking potential. It's like kind of a nice way to hide that if you do want to have a piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Villa defense should look. I mean, they've looked so good over these past 3 games.
Yeah,
and they were so good last year, and they have the same exact back 5. So they're just going to be and they're better coached now, so they should just be better, basically, right?
It really seems that way. Yeah,
yeah.
We got some questions on Man City. Rory said, double City defense or double City attack, and what would be your preferred combo? I know I want 3 of them, but I'm having a hard time picking just 3 of Ederson, Walker, Cancelo, Gundo, Foden. Ben said, what about B Silva versus Gundo versus Phil? Pep stated Bernardo's one of the best, seems to be less of a rotation risk. And then Mug said, do we need to start valuing Bilba's consistent minutes more heavily given other options on City have been getting benched or hurt this season? You know, same idea. There's no debate. Gundo and Foden spend more time closer to goal taking shots, but it's that old question of, is minutes actually the most important stat, you know, when it comes to Bilba? Man, he looks so good.
Yeah, but I mean, I still maintain the same thing about just from a fantasy perspective. Like he's just very limited in how many point scoring actions he contributes in a game. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean it's right, but I feel like there's something to be said for he's just their best player. Like he's 2019 Bilba all over again. Like I'm seeing the same things, you know.
Yeah.
And that year, you know, he only played 2,000 minutes, but he had 6 goals, 7 assists. You know, he obviously gets a lot of clean sheet, little dings and dongs for playing on City, and he's just really good. It's like
he looks good again.
He just looks incredible. Yeah,
he can play in the midfield 3, which is something that he doesn't really have too many options there. I mean, with Jack and Foden back now playing in the midfield 3, he's been so reluctant to do that. I mean, he just hasn't done that with Jack once, right? And,
I don't think so.
Foden, he has really tried not to do that at all. So, you know, when you know, I mean, Kevin's just washed up, you know, has been. So suddenly there aren't that many, competitors for minutes there. And yeah, so, you know, I guess Bill, for the reasons of minutes, is probably, you know, pretty. I mean, I still feel like Foden's better, but 0.7 more right now. I don't know.
It's just hard when you average it and think, you know, I don't know. There's how many more game weeks in December? 6 or something? Like Foden starts 3 and Bill starts 5. Like, I don't know how you average those out. It's tough.
Yeah.
I still think Foden's just a good pick, but I'm coming around a little bit on Bill in just the sense that he's just their best player, and like, you know, the stats don't represent it, and you know, if they really need a goal, he tends to pop up with a goal. You know what I mean? Like they're not relying on him for quantity of shots and all that stuff, but they do turn to him when, you know, times are tough and they need, you know, moment of magic or something like that. He just seems to pop up. It's one of those like not for our pod kind of guys, you know. We would always go a Gundo and Foden, and I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, sometimes you just shrug and pick the best guy.
I think it's a difficult thing to choose. I don't have too much of a strong opinion one way or the other between him, Foden, and Gundo. You know, I would be fine, you know, if you want to get any of those 3, I wouldn't like stump against or anything really at this point, because I do agree with you, you know, the way Bill's been looking, even though if the underlyings in the role might be a little bit, you know, not ideal.
Yeah.
He just keeps getting points, and there's something to be said for that.
Yeah. And what about Rory's question? Like, would you rather double City defense, 1 attack, or double attack, 1 defense?
I mean, I think Cancelo's still, you know, by far the best pick on the team. So other than that, I don't really care. I mean, you could have triple defense, and I think that's great, you know, depending on what your team looks like. If you have Diaz, Cancelo, and Ederson, I'd be like, yeah, that seems sick.
Yeah, Walker. You know? I guess he's hurt, but yeah.
Yeah, he's not. But, you know, something like that. But I don't really care. You know, I think it just depends, like, who the bad players on your team probably dictates more, right?
I think I agree. Yeah, there's not like, other than Cancelo, there's not one that I think is so much better than the others that like I feel really strongly you need that guy over the other.
Do you think Jesus is a shout?
To be honest, I mean, so Jim is getting transferred out of my team this week. He's been awful, and he has Liverpool, City, Brighton, Chelsea in the next 4. He's on my radar. You know, I mean, he's
interesting.
It's not sexy. He's not going to get goals, but he just gets points. You know, he just kind of like takes assists. He has good involvement, starts most games. Like they have, you know, a really incredible run right now.
Yeah.
It's on my radar for sure.
I think the main thing I'm just a little bit is, you know, I mean, with Foden and Jack back, and he's starting to play Raz again. Mars is getting minutes.
It's crowded.
It's crowded. I mean, he can only play 3 of these guys if he's not going to be playing Jack or Foden in midfield 3. So, do you think that is going to be an issue, or do you think that Jesus is still going to just he was happy to play him over Mahrez every chance he had at the beginning of the season. So, and he never plays Raz on the right. So, I mean, that could just be his spot. I mean,
I think as of now, that's the only logical assumption is Jesus is first choice right side, Foden's first choice left side. Don't really know who's first choice down the middle, I guess.
Yeah, it could be anyone.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of my assumption.
Do you think Raz is worth consideration? Or is it too expensive, and it's he might be back on the bench for 5 games again?
He definitely might be back on the bench, and we never know, and we will never know until it has already happened. But it's always worth consideration. I mean,
10-6.
People forget very quickly that for 3 consecutive seasons, he was one of the top 3 picks in the game.
He's helped us forget that.
Yeah, no, he's played his part for sure. But I just mean if he comes in and just starts 3 in a row and gets 2 returns, we shouldn't be that surprised. He's still Raz in there somewhere as Raz.
Well, I mean, which he literally just has done.
Yeah, exactly. So
Raz. He just he doesn't look the same to me though,
Yeah.
He looks genuinely worse than when he was doing all those things. I don't know.
Yeah.
He might just not be there. That just might not be there anymore.
It might not be. Yeah. Which would be weird. And it might just be he's unhappy or something like that. Or I mean, the good old days were always him on the right and Sané on the left. And that was and he just hasn't played on the right, I feel in 2 years.
It's the way that they change their playing style really doesn't suit him either. With the more controlled possession.
Yeah, that's true.
Moving the ball around, he's more of a violent player.
Yeah, they used to be so explosive on the counters, and the teams just don't let them counter anymore.
Yeah.
It was funny actually when I saw that Bilv goal, the highlight. I was that was a Liverpool goal. Yeah, City don't score those.
How did they even get in that situation?
Yeah, they had a ridiculous clusterfuck in the box, and Mara's wiggled away, and then it was 2v1. Just Mo to Jota or Mane type of goal. Just whoa, they don't score those anymore.
Yeah, but I mean the other thing too. I mean, we've been talking about City for a little while, but just another thought on this is this is around the time. So we mentioned earlier, we're okay, there are 3 good teams in the league, right? City, Liverpool, Chelsea. So I mean, having close to 9 players from those teams in your 11 seems okay, pretty good. This is the time of year though with City that we seem to usually start trying to get 2 or 3 City players. Usually doesn't work out that great. This is kind of usually the time when it's oh great, 2 of them didn't play in this game, and then oh great, they didn't clean and 1 of them didn't play, and then oh great. So
you think we're getting baited a little bit?
I just want to mention it because it happens pretty much every year. To me,
it does. We both, I think, at least triple up City at least once every year.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
Make about what you will. Yeah, Laura always wins. So yeah, it's something to be watchful for, I guess. I'm happy with 2. I mean, even though Diaz has been terrible for me, I still think he's just a long-term good pick, and him and Cancelo are just rocks in my team. It's just no worries.
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk about Spurs played today. Sure. Only one question. Mr. Ralph said, Kane keeps blanking. When do we stick to the plan? When do we trade them for players who are actually scoring points this season? So, Kane.
Well, luckily that plan only lasts for 1 more day.
Yeah, 1 more week. Yeah.
1 more deadline.
It's funny. I was looking at their fixtures. They're actually still good.
I know.
Because for people, in their cars or whatever commuting, it's a home Norwich this week, so it's the easiest hold I've ever seen. And then away Brighton is pretty tough. Away Leicester, fucking great fixture.
Incredible
Amazing,
fixture.
like green one fixture. Home Liverpool bad. And then they finish off their pileup. They finish off December and into the new year with home Palace at Southampton at Watford. It's like, if there's ever a time, it's still now. And yet Kane is just a lumbering, slow piece of actual shit.
I mean, we have to start to get, I think, like 5-alarm fire concerned about Kane, right?
Yes.
I mean, watching him play is just, it's like kind of sad, actual.
Yeah, there was a double pivot recently where they were talking a lot about Arsenal and they were talking about Conte and they were talking about how, Arsenal's big problem is they have two old strikers who just keep getting worse and aren't really producing. And then, Kaylee's a Spurs fan. Goodman came in and was like, yeah, but is it fair to talk about Obbs struggling and not talk about Kane, in the same way? Like he's just, I don't know. Yeah, it is sad. I mean, he seems like a physical decline that it just gets harder and harder to overcome.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that he's not fit. It's that his body isn't capable of doing the same things that we're used to seeing him do, you know?
Yeah.
I was also thinking, like, since we watched the game, like, because I think Conte is an actual footballing genius.
He is.
And he cannot stop picking Son, Kane, Lucas. Like, he won't do anything else when he has multiple other options to try. And I think my brain before was thinking of like, well, he has like kind of three strikers and Kane is like just not that player anymore. Like he's the 10, like he's the guy that drops in. Like that's what he's supposed to do. He can't run behind anyone anymore. He can't dribble past anyone. He can't take the ball on a counter and like outpace a center back chasing him when he's dribbling the ball anywhere. Like he can't do any of that. So Lucas makes a lot of sense to be playing with Son because then he has the two options to run two runners, and Kane just isn't really. And we, I joked about it, and we were discussing about Rooney's career path, but I mean, that's what he kind of is doing right now. Like late stages, Everton, Man United, midfielder 10 Rooney. That like Kane. He's. Yeah, dude, he has one fucking game this year where he scored a goal. It's one goal. He's played every game. He's played every single game.
1,000 minutes. I need to repost the Cole gif of him not scoring in like September.
And the thing, he had one really nice chance today that he just didn't lift, but mostly like he looks like he's been good for one goal this season. Like his XG is like 2 or something. I mean, it's not like it's like, holy shit, he's been missing all these chances. Like he looks like he's not near points or goals or anything.
3.4 non-penalty XG, 2.3 XA, and he's on 1 goal, 1 assist. So it's like, it's under, but it's
obviously
like,
under, but
not a lot. But yeah, I mean, the like sort of conspiracy theory sort of take on Kane is that he was already showing signs of declining after the multiple ankle injuries. The thing that kind of revived his recent seasons was the break of COVID. And he came back after that break. He scored 1 million fucking goals in the last whatever it was, 10 game weeks of the season, 8 game weeks of the season. He had a summer off, another break, and then he had a fucking insane season last season. And then guess what? No summer off, no breaks. Just get fucked. You have to play every second of every minute for England. Like you're never getting another game off. He plays in the fucking Conference League. Doesn't matter. And I think he just like needs rest. He's just like his ankles are fucked. He has a lot of minutes on his legs.
Yeah.
Like,
no, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna let him go for Norwich, but I mean, I don't even think a hat trick would have me keep him really. Well, all right.
Come on.
It's just, I mean, the thing is, like, I love him.
I know.
Like, he's one of my favorite fantasy players, like, ever. Like,
you
always
grew
loved
up with him in FPL.
Yeah, I grew up owning him when he was 4-8 in my team. Yeah, and he price rose to infinity, and I loved him, and I love the way he plays. but it's really rough watching him play now.
It's tough. Yeah.
Son, on the other hand,
looked great.
Great pick.
Yeah,
Great pick.
He looked super good today. Better than he has by a lot in the other games.
Yeah, he's someone that I will definitely hold for, this month.
Yeah, I agree.
Kane, though, okay, what does he have to do against Norwich to be like, all right, I'm going to try and give him a little bit more rope?
That's your question to answer. I don't know him.
Well, but what do you think? I'm asking you though.
The thing is, his numbers were still pretty good today. Like he had the one chance, he created the big chance for Hodge.
A couple of chances.
Yeah, and he created some others. I would just like to see him look a little bit more like himself in the sense of like not dribble by people, but buy a yard and curl one or something like that.
He can't even get a fucking shot past the marker.
That's what I mean. It seems issue. Like he can't buy a yard, and that used to be like his main skill. Was like you can't stop him getting shots. We used to be like the thing with him.
Now every shot is stopped. It's very blocked by the player in front of him.
Yeah, it's very telegraphed and very stoppable.
Yeah.
So I would just like to see more fluency. I mean, let's be honest, like separating FPL from IRL for a second, like this was best Spurs performance in like years. Like this was the most controlling, dominant Spurs performance I've seen in a while today. So, if they build on that and look really fucking good against Norwich and blow them away too, and Kane gets like an assist to Son and gets a goal and they look good, then I feel like it's enough that the team is trending that far upwards that you could keep them.
Okay. All right.
Because again, I'm with you on Conte. Like we know that. So
yeah, it's just. It's what is this 4 or 5 games in a row? He just every game is whether it's him, Ronaldo, Lukaku. Every single time they go out, get me 2 points all year. It's crazy.
Yeah, Kane's
I don't even know
points.
what's happening?
Kane's points are didn't play 0, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 12, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah, I bought him right after Newcastle, I think.
Yeah, goal and assist, 12-pointer.
Yeah,
easy.
And he's gotten me a snow day and 5 blanks.
And I used to love snow days. He ruined snow days for me. Yeah,
oh my God.
rough one. Let's bang out
good Spurs performance though.
Yeah, very good. Let's bang out, and Regs just keeps fucking hauling. Good on people who have him. He's just a festival right now. 5, 9, 12 were his last 3.
Yeah,
good job.
You captained him last year.
Yep. Yeah, you did. And he went off injured, right?
Yeah, in like 55 minutes.
Classic, absolute classic moment. That's FPL, baby. That's the theme for this week. Let's bang out some questions. Keep it relatively short. One day off. Warren said, do we believe in Maddo or Ollie, or is that point chasing on the highest order? Platypus followed up and said, is it time to take Maddison seriously?
I'm totally fine if you want to buy Maddison.
I'm actually like very interested. He's really streaky and always has been in the Premier League. And if he's banging him in and looking good, which he absolutely is right now, then he might just do it for 2 months and be really good. So I like it. I like the pick. Go for it.
The main issue is that Braj could bench him after one bad performance in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and Iose is lurking. So, and Albrighton needs minutes. So,
those are cons. But
yeah, those are big.
Otherwise,
cons.
I agree with that streakiness point 1,000,000%. And it's if you have a punty spot, it's not like we certainly don't have a ton of midfielders who are blowing the doors down for choices in your team. So, if you want to give him like a couple games to see, Villa not great, but then he has Newcastle. I mean, Spurs not too good, Everton pretty good. I don't know. Give him a few games, he could still do it.
Yeah, and then Warren's question was also including Ollie, and I'm very interested in Ollie. I mean, they have Liverpool and Chelsea 2 out of the next 7, but the other fixtures are all fucking incredible. He's home Leicester, at Liverpool, at Norwich, home Burnley, home Chelsea, at Leeds, at Brentford. That's his December. That's his pile up.
Yeah, and then they're good for a while after that.
Yeah, so I feel like, we didn't really see anything in City that, to like, that they didn't really control the ball. He got his goal off a set piece, whatever, but he's been looking good in the other games, and I like the player. So yeah. I'm interested.
I mean, he's a really difficult player to me because like he is like that profligacy in front of goal, but he repeatedly gets into the positions.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's almost like Neil. It's both Brenham, disciples, but
True.
they both get into really good, like Brent, for as much of a joke that Neil is as a human and a fucking scumbag that he is. He gets into goal scoring positions for fucking fun every single game.
Absolutely.
He always has since he got to Brighton. He just scores 7 goals a season. Watkins clearly has a little bit more about him than Neil, but in the finishing department, but he could put it all together and have like a 20-goal season. That's not going to surprise anybody. Yeah. And it is his second season, and he finally has a coach who knows something about football. And Craig Shakespeare's not there anymore and shit. That's got to be amazing.
Gotta be good. That's gotta be good.
Yeah. And he low key did have 15 returns last season. Was always pretty decent on bonus points. And 15. He's a fitness monster.
He had fucking 23 returns last season.
Yeah, I misspoke. I mean, he's also a fitness monster. So, which is nice, and he's versatile. He can play with or without Ings. So. Yeah, the time he's not expensive. I think he's definitely a good shout. It's just a matter of I think that the timing, because the fixtures are a little bit annoying.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying, but I
think it's either like right now or then you wait until after Liverpool. Kind of a thing.
And the thing is, it's the same thing that you said about Maddo. Also, is there's just not a lot of forwards right now, and so I'm here with Jim. Like Hwang and shit, and I'm just like, I don't know. Yeah, he's probably better than a lot of the other guys similarly priced. So, and then go ahead.
And the one thing, right, is unlike Maddo is, he's if you decide to buy him, do not sell him.
Yeah.
Like you have to hold him, because he's going to have performances where he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And he's going to have a couple of blanks in a row. Like he does that, especially when the team doesn't play that many attackers and don't create that many chances, but he also will tick. And he's, you have to be patient with him.
And he's also a monster on bonus. And just to prove your point, I mean, his last 3 goals were against West Ham, Brighton, and City. And in between those, he blanked against Southampton and Palace. So it's trying to predict when he's going to get his dong is folly.
Yeah, but 2 goals in the 3 games since Stevie got there is nice to see, and Ings out is also fantastic.
Love
for him,
to see it. Yeah. So speaking of this, Viking said it's time to ship Jim out. I agree. He said, "Who do you like in that striker bracket? I already own Dennis and Tony." And then some people are asking about Dennis versus King also. And Dennis is a fucking Greek god. I don't know what he's up to.
I don't have any idea what's up with Dennis.
He's just the best player in the league.
He shits out points for fun.
My initial reaction is just King's better, pen, stats, blah, blah, blah. But I've kind of flipped and I'm just like, no, Dennis is just like on cloud 9 right now. He's space jammed Messi's skills from him, and he's just like a god.
Yeah, I think he's not even close a better pick than King.
Yeah, I think so at this point.
I mean, I don't really give a fuck about underlying stats. It's still Josh King.
Still Josh King.
I mean, it's not like it's some guy that just came over from fucking Serie A who we've never seen before, and it's his first season where I could be like really excited by the underlyings and be like, no, there's room to grow into this. Like, it's fucking Josh King. He sucks. He got bought for like nothing. He couldn't get a game for Everton last year. Fucking Everton. I mean, it's fucking Josh King. Dennis is so good.
World-class player.
He's just so good every game. Yeah. He's just so influential and good. He just is fucking really good, and he's cheaper.
Yeah.
So
he just mags Rudiger for the goal. Like, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that finish was unbelievable. It was like the audacity to even try that, let alone I mean, after the City game, they have a really good run, and like we talked about last pod, as we saw again against Chelsea. I mean, they did it against Chelsea. They just attack. They can't defend, so all they do is attack. Yeah. They don't have Sarr. That's also good for Dennis. And Dennis.
I like Dennis. But anyone else? Any other forwards you like in the like Antonio and down region? because it's.
Well, I still do think King is okay. You know, I mean, as a secondary to Dennis.
We talked about Ollie. What about like Callum St. Max? Like they had their fucking nightmare against Norwich, and then they have Burnley, and then they have the worst fixtures.
No,
you know.
Yeah, no, that's done. I think that's done.
I'm really excited to see what they do in January.
Yeah, it could be fun. I hope they buy Zaha.
Yeah,
Bamford might be back soon. You know, that could be a name to not completely forget, because they do play so much better when he's in the team.
He has 3 returns in 5 games, even when they were playing like shit before he got hurt.
Yeah. But no, I don't think so. I mean, I think Tony's a rough one. Yeah, I'm not happy still having him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
Brentford just, God, they're bad. They're a bad team.
Yeah. Mishka said, Man United may be turning into form, and they have the fixtures now too. Have you thought about how long you'd wait before you pull the trigger? What if Rom becomes good? Would you walk away from a back line or sacrifice someone in mid? So they don't face Liverpool, Chelsea, or City until game week 28. They have a really very long, insane run.
I mean, we should talk about Man United a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean,
So what are you thinking there?
I'm definitely interested. I'm still boycotting Ron, but I think he's probably still a good pick. Bruno, I thought Bruno looked really good today. Really way more involved than I'd seen him previously. Sancho's down to 8-9. He's pretty involved. He looks good. Like Ragnick will definitely love him. Pressing monster, like work rate, all that stuff. Same with Rash, probably. But I'm even interested in the defense, to be honest, because everything that I've heard about Ralph is that they're going to be they're like a defensive pressing team, more like a Hasenhüttl, rather than like a more up the field pressing team like a Liverpool or a Pep team. So I expect like sort of similarly to like Gerrard coming in, the first line of business to be like to tighten everything up and have just like a good defensive shape. And with this fixture run long term, I'm just like, they might just keep like a ton of fucking cleans.
Really?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm just more, I mean, I don't give a fuck who's in charge. Is the personnel such that they can do that?
I think if you're organized, you can make a average defense look way better than it is and keep cleans.
Yeah. But are they going to jump? Are they going to jump the queue for some of the other defenders to put them in your team though?
Yeah, for FPL that is a tough ask. You're right there. So I don't know. Maybe
I'm more interested in the attack. I think because I just feel like there's more
room in our teams.
Yeah. There's more room. I mean, Sancho is probably the most interesting, just mainly from I think the price standpoint. I mean, Bruno at 11.6,
it's tough,
and Ron at 12.3
and off pens Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, those are both just such exorbitant prices, and I mean, maybe for that little window and Mo's gone, you could fit that or something.
Or Kane to Ron, I think is what a lot of people are eyeing up.
Yeah, you could do that for sure, but I mean, Sancho at 8-9, I think is easier to slot in.
Yeah,
doesn't require as much team surgery, as many transfers.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, Rash is also kind of interesting to me though, because he's something that Sancho doesn't have is like a track record of doing it, and Rash
double digit goals all day, every day.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna finish. He finishes with points for as infuriating as he is. He's 9-4. I don't know. Do you think Rash is gonna be?
Yeah, I think he'll be. I think he'll play a big
fresh.
part.
He hasn't played much.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely interested in Rash. I'm definitely interested in Sancho. It's tough to make this kind of call and like go for one of these guys like right in the middle of a pileup, right before he's even managed them even once. Like, we're going off like zero data right now. It's fucking Michael Carrick in charge, against Arsenal. So it's hard, but at the same time, we're kind of like, this has happened multiple times this season, but we're sort of forced into it when they have home Palace, at Norwich, at Brentford, home Brighton, at Newcastle, home Burnley, home Wolves. Yeah. It's just like insane. So.
Well, I mean, I think Carrick did pick a good team today. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like he put Greenwood back in.
No, I just don't know how they're going to play, you know?
How they're going to play. Yeah.
Like if they came out and just 0-0'd a few of these games and just like, again, I'm comparing it to like Gerrard coming into Villa, like just concentrating mostly on just shape and pressing, or even Conte, you know, just shape, pressing, like we'll worry about attack later. Maybe our superstars will get us a goal for now. Like I wouldn't be surprised. And then it would feel so bad to own any of these assets, you know? But I just don't know. I just don't know, really.
Yeah.
But punt-wise, like we said about Maddo, like if you have that slot and you can get there, don't hate it. Don't hate those punts at all. You know, I could do Jim and Kai to like Rashford and a forward, or Sancho and a forward. Like I could do that. It's not out of the question at all. So I should really consider those guys. I mean, I expect the basically Sancho, Rashford, Bruno in some order behind Ron every game.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Should be that.
That's really really good. They're fucking superstars.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, if 1B is not playing, which is great.
Oh my God. That was the best thing about that game today was
by
not having to watch 1B. He's like genuinely one of the worst fullbacks in the league. It's insane.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like
definitely like bottom 5 or so fullbacks in the league.
Crazy.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. So Man U, I mean,
interested.
I mean, I was like sort of in denial that I'm gonna have to like address Man U again from an FPL standpoint, but
I used to like hate all their players, and I still do hate Ronaldo and like Slab and shit. But like I have no hate.
I like a lot of their
like
players,
Rashford and Sancho. Like
I hate Bruno. Holy shit,
Bruno's an absolute annoying piece of shit. But like Rashford, Sancho, like love them. You know, like they're cool, they're young, they're fun, like they're exciting to watch and shit. So.
I don't know what I feel about Rashford because I own him every year and he's just.
I feel like even when he does well for you, you hate him. I
get mad at him.
Yeah,
because he's the kind of guy who just misses so many things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't like him. You don't like Jota. You don't like those kind of guys.
I just don't like Jota because of what he did to me last year.
Because he got transferred.
Yeah.
What a fucker.
Yeah, it sucked.
But yeah, Menu's maybe back on the radar. I don't know. Do you think it'd be like if I told you that I was doing one of those double changes for a forward and Sancho, would you come back at me on Discord and be like, "That's ridiculous. Just get Foden or Maddo or Gundo or some shit."
Foden's fucking a good pick. Foden doesn't fucking barely gets points anyway.
That's the thing. It's just there's like no guy there that I really want. So why?
No, I mean I think this is the kind of thing with Man United, the attackers, that I look at, like, you know, looking at their fixtures for the next month or two and just imagining, you know, what is Ranić going to do with them? There could be many very good picks in their team.
Yep.
And, you know, after we watch them play for 4 games, it could be like, oh yeah, like, of course.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're at that place where you're like, all right, well, I have Kai, who's obviously a terrible FPL pick that you need to get rid of, then, you know, that's an option that, Jim, you know, I mean, he's never going to be terrible because, well, whatever. He's terrible right now, but I mean, but you know, you're not going to get Ronaldo, but regardless, right? To get a midfielder, it's the kind of thing where you could say like, okay, well, worst case, you know, they play Palace, Norwich, Brenham. I'm going to have a really good idea if the player I'm getting is good after those 3 games. Yep. So worst case, I get like, okay, maybe they get an assist or they don't return in 3 games. And then I'm like, all right, I fucked up.
Yeah.
He's bad.
Yeah.
Best case, they play well, they get points. You're like, fuck yeah, I have a great pick. I'm going to keep him for
3 out of the next 4. And I just like nailed the next best pick. Yeah.
You know, so I think that's the kind of, like, I think those are good reasons to buy. Yeah. Like that's like price to buy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
I do also think that compared to, I think the City midfielders or the players I think are in closer contention for you in those spots. Yeah. I don't see a ton of, you know, big points from them. They're all kind of tickers, and City, it's not like City are exploding with goals. So I don't think that that's like a really dumb thing to not get like Bill or
right. But
Foden
like that
or
won't
Gundo.
kill me. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's dumb. I think it's just, it's riskier because you're getting more of an unknown quantity, but you might be getting a better quantity. They are more expensive, but if you can afford it,
I can afford it. Yeah.
And like Dennis is like, are you gonna tell me that fucking Ollie Watkins is $2 million more worth than Dennis? No.
I would never. Yeah.
So when the difference is that, and you can get whichever midfielder you want, then there isn't really a difference in price. So
yeah. All right.
Okay.
I'll think about that tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
And then
not make a move and
then I'll skip the deadline and get a green arrow. Let's go. And then Brian, last question, said, can you talk a little bit about hits, I guess specifically related to this period before the second wildcard's available? I feel like a -8 or even a 12 is calling me, but is that just lack of patience considering how hard it is to get those points back? Rather than making it team specific, what would you say is a general level of performance below which you're better off hitting a player out rather than holding a free transfer for later?
You know what?
That's a news for you to put your neck in right there.
Hey.
Go get him.
It's very easy to get points in FPL. So if you just transfer in the right players and you transfer out the right players, hits are going to be fine.
Yeah, sure.
That's it.
Sure.
Simple.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, it can't not be team specific. I have to, challenge the premise of the question a little bit. Like, they're all team specific if you should hit this guy out or not. If you have Dennis first on your bench, just play Dennis because he's the best player in the league. So don't hit him if you have him. But, anyway, let's go to our teams. What are you looking at? Who are you hitting in or out this week?
I think I'm actually saving this week.
Are you actually saving? That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I have a team of players. Unless if Reese is like confirmed out and Rashica is also still injured.
Like Keenan Davis could always play.
Yeah, no, he can't. Then I'm going to have to do something or else I'm going to be playing Basuma. But otherwise, my teams, everyone's got pretty good fixtures and,
it's good.
I have greater ideas of what I want to do in the future. So
wow.
For this week, I think I might just let them all play and, maybe actually get a green arrow, but probably not.
Yeah, for this week, there's a lot of good fixtures going around and before.
Yeah. I got Lamptey vice capped. So we got that going this weekend.
Mocap?
Yep.
Yeah, that was Owen's question. He said, is this game week a chance to change Cap from the Egyptian god? He's facing the mighty Sa this week and a very turgid Wolves. Wolves haven't played any of Liverpool, Chelsea, and City. Like,
do you know that Wolves are an actual bad team? And they're about to get fucking their comeuppance in this next month and a half.
The odds
they're about
of
to
not
lose
playing
like 6 straight
of those 3 teams in the first 14 game weeks of the season are very low. I feel like
it's scam artists.
That's just
they're about to go through fucking hell in the next month or so. It's gonna be great. They're gonna lose so many games, and they're gonna plummet in the table.
Their defense is tough. I do think they play a tough way to break down whatever, but they haven't played any of the good teams because there's only 3 good teams. And like I said on last pod, anytime anyone presents an alternative Cap to Mo, it's just no team is doing what Liverpool does. I said it last week. I'll say it again this week. No team in the league other than Liverpool is like they're going to score 4. If they literally just broke the record for consecutive games with 2+ goals.
Who are you going to cap? City player?
That's the thing. Son.
What City player?
Son, a City player. Jota, Trent, like none
actually.
Of these. Oh.
Jota has the revenge going.
Oh, that's true.
I don't actually hate that.
That's true.
That's
this has been circled on his calendar.
Yeah, for so long. Even though Nuno's not. If Nuno was there,
oh my god, if Nuno's there,
1,000,000%.
And maybe triple cap. Maybe a triple cap. Yeah,
that's the thing.
The lore is strong with this one.
Dude, I'll fucking captain Joe. I don't give a fuck. I'll captain him.
You're basically just you're a guinea pig this year.
I'm captaining
You're
Jota.
just trying shit.
Yeah,
so
I'm trying shit.
In 2 games last season against Wolves, one he didn't start, so whatever. He played 18 minutes. The other he started and scored.
I'm captaining Jota.
There it is, Owen. It's the week to change cap from the Egyptian god to his teammate who plays alongside him.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Mo. It's ridiculous, but in terms
so
of
good, dude,
unbelievable. He missed 2 monster chances. Also,
I know.
Absolute.
He missed easier chances.
Misses easier chances, and then he just curls one.
But the one that Fuckford saved was. He didn't miss
that was a
chance.
really good save. It was a really good save.
That was
the other one
he
absolutely fucking missed.
Yeah, he fucked up.
That would have been a Jota assist too, which is annoying. But he's just so good. But in terms of my team, yeah, I don't know. I need to play around with Jim's definitely out, and then I have Kai, Bumo, and Hwang who are all bad. So I'll figure something out. I need to figure out basically what 2 players I want most out of those combos and just do that.
I think it has to be Kai and Jim just for this sheer standpoint of the money. Yeah. It's just a waste of
right. I'm not gonna bench 7-8 Jim or
Kai.
Yeah.
So even if it means you put 3 million in the bank or something, I think that's what you should just do.
Yeah, probably.
And I don't think doing one and floating makes any sense because then you're just starting a really bad player. And I think you need to make a call this week.
Yeah,
sort of what your team looks like.
So this is the week where my greens stop. This is the week where my season.
No, you're gonna make an
because I have to make a fucking call.
No, you're gonna make a good call and it's gonna work.
I hope so.
So how much do you have to do there?
15-7.
15-7.
If I go Ollie, I have an 8-3 for the mid. So I can get most mids in the game, but I can't get a Sancho. But when I could someone Mount is even a little bit interesting, but there's
I'm still worried about Mount playing all these games.
Yeah, there's Foden, and then there's a bunch of guys I wouldn't consider, and then Bill, Gundo. I don't know what's going on with Bill. With Gundo's injury, Maddo, it drops off really fast.
The timing on Dennis is frustrating because he has that tough fixture.
Yeah, it is brutal.
If you were to do Dennis and
I just wouldn't have a forward to start really.
Yeah, I mean you have to start somebody.
Yeah,
you can't start 5-5-0.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for us.
So it's going to be either Sancho.
I wonder if I turn this into a hit.
Yeah.
And did Hwang to Dennis. I still can't get Sancho Ollie, which would have been nice, but I still can't afford it, even if I do that.
Really?
Yeah.
How far are you?
0.3. Because I think Dennis has gone up a bunch.
Yeah, he's 5.4, I think now.
Yeah.
That Broja 0.5 is
coming to bite me.
Yeah. But he got you points. So
he got me points. Yeah, he got me points.
Well,
I do like Ollie. I feel like Ollie's a guy that I could be happy with for a while. Which is not.
You do like him.
I like him. I've always liked him, and I love Stevie, and they're playing well and shit. So I just the fuck mid in the fucking entire game when I get with 8-3.
8-3.
It's just Bill or Maddo are probably 2 leading contenders, which is just what the hell is this? What planet is this? Cornet for Newcastle Watford or some shit.
I mean, Maddo doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah, it might be Maddo. Streaky Maddo.
Yeah, I mean, and he's the other.
The fixtures are pretty bad. Gotta say.
Yeah, they are. I mean, at Villa is really fucking bad.
4 of the next 6 fixtures are really bad.
Yeah, he's a transfer
at Villa, home Spurs, at City, home Liverpool in those 6.
Yeah.
Home Newcastle at Everton are fantastic, but
yeah, no, I think it's probably that's not great. I mean, it might just be Foden.
Yeah.
Or Belv, Belv.
Belv, yeah.
Or Gundo, if Gundo's fit. Getting the City guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just that has the potential to just be like agony.
Yeah.
Start whoever you get, like starts 3 of the next 5, gets 5 points.
So brutal.
Or something. And you're just
so
like, oh.
if I go Sancho, then that forward spot is 6'8" and under, which is like no one. It's like Che, Tony, Wood.
Well, what if you
Benteke,
hit what if you hit Bumo to a 4-5 for money?
Oh, instead of hitting out Huang?
Yeah, because then you could still do Huang to Dennis and sort out your 11 next week for free.
Yeah, I can afford that.
That might be
because then I still even
then you
have
got 2 guys you actually like
for the Bumo spot.
Yeah, I don't think that'll get you too far, but it'll at least give you 2 players you like instead of
which is
one
rare.
And a big question mark that you're like iffy about.
Oh, I can get Fred just down to 4.9. Oh my god, let's go.
Well, do you how would you feel about actually getting Sancho in right now? Like, would you be happy with that, or are you?
I think I'd be happier with that than like Bill, Foden, or Maddo.
Yeah,
and like those are the only names in the ring right now, really.
Yeah, so
or,
I think
Cornet, like someone like Cornet is probably just like.
But you don't want to start that guy.
I know,
dude.
but like
fucking Burnley.
It's an out of position, like in form, striker playing striker at 6 million mid. Like someone like that is probably just more logical, but it doesn't get me going. It definitely doesn't get the juices flowing. I'll tell you that much. But I don't know. This has been helpful, and then I'll probably ask you more shit tomorrow.
Okay, I definitely do like that. What we just came up with using
cutting
the Bumo, because
3 bad players and getting in
Bumo. Getting a 4-5 for Bumo is just getting literally the exact same points Bumo's been getting you for $1 million less.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is amazing.
That's very useful.
Getting 2 good players, putting Dennis in for Huang next week, puts you all of a sudden with just like a really good 4-4-2.
Yeah.
With White and Broja, and then maybe you can even, do something with Broja down, or you get Lamptey in for White. Like then all of a sudden your whole team's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at White even because we talked about him with the Lamptey shit. Like their fixtures are fucking amazing. He's not going anywhere. Like they have at Everton, home Southampton, home West Ham, at Leeds, at Norwich, home Wolves. That's like 4 cleans potential.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So yeah, even White is fucking great right now.
Yeah, White is. I mean, that also makes your looking at those fixtures, and he could be your first on the bench guy.
I mean, yeah, he would. I would certainly start him ahead of Wang or Broja any week, no question.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying you get Dennis in there. Even if it's Dennis or White, either of those 2. Yeah. Protecting the rest of
anytime they come in, I feel good
for this whole month, and this is the month when you really want that, because that's when there's so many fixtures. So
right,
yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Things are looking up. All right, we're getting somewhere.
I mean, you're the only team that matters here, baby. So we got to make sure.
All right, thank you for your help.
We got to make sure it's working.
All right, we got no new friends, no new anus slaps in the last few days. That's about it. We'll see you back on Monday, the normal time. We got an actual week off, so that's a good job by us.
Yeah.
Any last words?
We'll see you tomorrow, baby.
We'll see you tomorrow, bro. Check us out at FMLfield.com. Follow on Twitter at FMLfield. Support us at patreon.com/FMLfield. Subscribe, rate, review, and cheers.